Well, welcome everyone to the Black Entrepreneurs Institute live show. My name is Angela Hooper Minifield, and I'm one of the co-founders of the Black Entrepreneurs Institute, as well as one of the co-hosts of the BEI Live Show. And I am so excited and happy to be here this evening with my fellow co-hosts and co-founders. We have with us tonight, all four of us for the first time in a minute. We have Cedric LaFleur.
Hello.
Dr. Nicole Rankin.
Hey, everybody.
And last but definitely not least, our resident extrovert, Damian Johnson.
Well, hello, and greetings, friends. We are glad to be back all together, and it's going to be a good show. Strap in.
That's right. So, first thing we want to do is not only welcome everybody to the show, but let's welcome folks to the month of April. Now, for many people, we know when people hear April, they think taxes. And just depending on whether or not you're one of those business owners that see that as a good thing or you're cringe because of the amount you owe. And when you make that big money like Cedric, who knows, Cedric, you.
Yeah, only thing I like about April is my daughter's birthday. That's it. And it's April 15th.
But here's what we also know, guys, right? Like April is also that month for many people for renewal and starting over. Think about it, it's the first month of the second quarter. And for many regions of the United States, April is a month as where the saying comes from, April showers, right? And so when we think about that, we think about washing away the old and refreshing for the new, planting gardens, spring cleaning. So guys, what are you all excited about when it comes to April?
Well, I could say I'm excited about the weather because I am like the weather. I'm in Georgia. So, outside of the pollen and stuff, just the warm weather, I love to walk. So that is going to help me with my self-care because I use the cold as an excuse and I say it that I don't work out. So now that it's getting warmer, I'm going to be out doing my trails, doing the mountains. So just making sure I take care of my health and my body. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I think for me, Angela, you guys know I'm from Jamaica, so cold weather and I do not agree. So I'm glad that it's starting to warm up now and the sun is out more. But I tell you what I'm really excited about, our next boot camp cohort, because we've got some stellar entrepreneurs that have come into our boot camp, and look, they're coming here because they want systems, they want processes, they want to understand sales and negotiations, and mostly they're here to up-level their mindset and their money. So you know what? I'm excited that the word is getting out that BEI is where the money resides, where the money resides.
You're crazy, Damien. I'm definitely excited about April, but the good thing is Uncle Sam gave us a reprieve. So the rest of the country, I think, is May 15th now for taxes, but in Texas, it's June 15th. You see, we are our own country. We do what we want to do. We just let them know when we're going to send it to them.
Makes sense.
The United States of Texas.
Exactly. Thank you for reminding us about the state of Texas. I mean, the country of Texas.
Country, please get it right. Yeah. We need to edit this so that we know that it says country.
Well, those are definitely some things to be excited about and look forward to. So, guys, let me just say this. I am excited about tonight because, as most of you know who know me for a while, I am born and raised Gary, Indiana. And for many people, Gary has been affectionately referred to also as the GI. But Gary is home to the Jackson 5. It is also known from the lyrics of the Music Man. I'm sure we've all heard it, right? Gary, Indiana, 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 right? We've heard that. But it was also one of the first major cities to elect a Black mayor. And this happened in 1968. And that was Mayor Richard Gordon Hatcher. And Gary was actually founded by the United States Steel Corporation in 1908. Hence this other nickname, which is Steel City. Now, my father actually worked almost 40 years in the steel mills in Gary. So that name resonates well with me. But tonight, I can say that I have the honor and the privilege to bring guests who, like me, are entrepreneurs and also Gary natives. And so now I'm going to bring on our special guest for tonight's show. And I want to introduce to you all Jerome and Cathys Jenkins. Give me 1 second. Right. Welcome to the show.
Hey. Hello, everyone. Good to be on the show.
So let me first just introduce you guys to this amazing couple. So both Jerome and Cathys grew up in Gary, Indiana, like myself. And in the early 80s, Jerome would become the second person in the world to jump 7 feet in the high jump at the young age of 15. This would earn him a scholarship at the University of Illinois, where he would continue his track and field career and eventually try out for the 1992 Olympics. Now, Cathys decided to take a different path, and after attending Emerson High School for performing arts, she would take her talents to the University of Indianapolis. Now, they were both visiting Gary on the same weekend, and a simple visit to see their families would change their lives forever. It was love at first sight, and only 30 days after that weekend, they decided to get married. Whoa. So soon after marriage, Jerome and Cathys would open a small retail space in a local mall, which soon led them to develop their own products for the printing and necktie industry. This would lead them to create specific chemicals for printing on fabrics using inkjet technology. In 1992, they opened C. Jenkins Chemical Company. Over time, they collaborated with companies such as Disney, Hewlett-Packard, and Warner Brothers to ensure the growth and longevity of their company. They created clothing chemicals for the movie Ocean's 11 to make clothes look old, and also create chemicals to help make the memorial quilt in New York to honor those from 9/11. In 1995, they invented the chemical called Bubble Jet Set 2000 that would eventually catch the eye of NASA. With a few modifications, this chemical would be used in the manufacturing of spacesuits worn by NASA astronauts during spacewalk activities to protect them from harmful UV rays. In 2013, Cathys Kitchen was opened in Ferguson, Missouri, and it soon became one of the most popular restaurants in the St. Louis area. However, in 2014, Michael Brown was killed by a Ferguson policeman, and the events that would follow would forever change their lives. Cathys Kitchen Restaurant and Diner sits 2 doors down from the Ferguson Police Department, and immediate protests stopped all sales to the restaurant. Cathys quickly realized that business would never be the same, so she decided to cook all the food she had left. She rolled her cart up to the protesters and fed them all for free as they stood in the bitter cold protesting the death of Michael Brown. This decision was life-changing. After the verdict, the riots began and the city of Ferguson began to burn. To her surprise, all those supporters she fed made a human chain around her restaurant and protected her building from getting damaged. The next day, after the smoke had cleared, Cathys Kitchen Restaurant and Diner was the only business that could open for business. Her act of kindness created a new popularity in the restaurant, and people came from all over the world to dine at Cathys Kitchen. She's had lunch with Danny Glover, Harry Belafonte, Kevin Costner, Melissa Etheridge, and the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, came to visit Cathys. So now here we are in 2021, which brings new opportunities for Jerome and Cathys as they are in the process of expanding the family business. With 30 years of marriage and 3 lovely children, it's now time to pass the torch to the next generation. And they look forward to what the future brings. So again, welcome Cathys and Jerome. What an amazing bio, first I just gotta say. That is so impressive.
Thank you.
And so we just wanna jump right into the questions. So Damien, I'm turning it over to you.
All right, so Jerome and Cathys, welcome. And I got to tell you, just hearing that bio and that story, Cathys, about your store, your restaurant, it literally gave me goosebumps, right? And so normally my first question would be for you to sort of share with me about your entrepreneurial journey, because clearly from from the bio, you all have flirted with different types of businesses to get to the place where you are right now. But I really want to hear from you about how the events in 2014 may have shifted your entrepreneurial journey. So talk to me about what life was like before, and then during, and then share with me now after, post that experience with the protesting and the human chain protecting your business. Just frame that up for me in the context of those events, because those were events that shocked America.
You want to answer?
Well, I'll start
Okay.
part and I'll let you finish it. I mean, I probably wouldn't say it didn't shift because we had a plan. So, we have this theory as a family, Sunday in our house is family day. Our kids can come over and eat and they can watch movies. And we talk about who you want to be in this world. And so we knew that the restaurant business is what the girls and mom and everybody want to do. And, me and my son, we want to be a part of the restaurant. We can't really cook like them. Okay. So we had to figure out roles that we wanted to play. The events that happened, I would probably say, catapulted the restaurant. In other words, you would not have known about us as fast. Our goals was the same. We know what we were trying to accomplish, but because of all the attention that was happening, they talked to us. We were the only Black business right there next to the police department in the beginning. And so we became a spot of attention. So our goals, we have wrote out everything that we're going to do, and we have not deferred from that course. Now, did it affect us? Yes. And I'll let Cathys say it affected us greatly. I didn't think I would meet Harry Belafonte or Danny Glover or these kind of people come to the restaurant, so it affected us greatly far as in the world of publicity and advertising,
Oh yeah, it was. It sounds all great, like it was just all of a sudden this thing just sparked and we were at the top, but it wasn't so. The city was divided after that. And we are a local restaurant. And so you didn't have everybody, people felt like Ferguson was dangerous. They didn't want to come down there and eat. You had the split between your white and your Black customers, people not wanting to come and support that were normally always there. And so I used to have the restaurant open from breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I had 3 menus. After Mike Brown happened, listen, things digressed so much because of the problems that we got rid of breakfast totally. We were down to 1 menu and we were closing at 6 o'clock. So we were barely staying open. It was a struggle. And I'm going to tell you, the news, the celebrities, all them coming, it switched things up. When my building was vandalized, the very first person I met when I pulled up to the restaurant was Super Bowl Hall of Famer Aeneas Williams. He's out front sweeping glass, out of my window. And we're friends to this day. And it was people like him that, I don't know, they just loved us. And, and they did whatever they could to help us. And I tell you, they opened their hearts up, and I don't know if it's just because we gave, but, we were both raised the same way. You just keep giving, and you don't give to get, but you give because it's the right thing to do. But the general rule of it just really is what it is. You do receive when you give. You just do. And we definitely represented that. And things did finally begin to change. Things did begin to pick up. But it was a struggle. It was times we didn't know we were going to be able to keep the doors open. And that's the part people never want to talk about and don't want to deal with. They only want to hear the sunshine. They don't want to hear about the rain,
Wow, that's an amazing story and just facts about real entrepreneurship. Well, I'm curious as how did you all get to this point? Jerome, we talked about in your bio that you came from an athletic background, even tried out for the Olympics, and Cathys, you had the performing arts. How did you go from that to going into entrepreneurship?
I probably would say it started in the beginning. Sports. One thing about sports, you become great at something. And I knew that I was good in track and field all my life. Okay. When it's over and you got to go enter into the workforce, you don't know. You're a number. I'm employee number 98799. And I felt like I didn't have this talent. So me and Cathys would talk all the time, and I used to always just kind of daydream about what it would be like to put my name on something.
Yeah. He was born that way though. When we were first dating in college, he was always trying to start some type of business. I mean, from day one, when I visited him at U of I, he was in there making T-shirts,
You know, the weird thing, I don't think I was thinking about how we think about it today as entrepreneurship. You know, I was just poor. So in my brain, you know, when you grew up as a kid, you shovel snow, you cut grass, and you wanted some things. So I couldn't call home because it was 6, 7 of us, and they had to take care of the other kids. So I had to make some extra money. And back then, the NCAA rules was really against you working. So we couldn't work. I couldn't go out and get a job as long as I was playing sports on scholarship. So it was like a catch-22. So I wasn't thinking that until marriage. Now, when marriage got there, I wanted to put my name on something. I've had one job. I think we worked 1 year of our life for somebody else. Yeah. You know, right out of college. Yeah. And I got the job at Circuit City down the street. And I couldn't understand how everybody went in there every day and bought a television. Because I hadn't seen that kind of money that you can go get a television because you wanted it bigger or you wanted it blue, you know. So I would say to Cathie, I would look at Cathie and be like, man, if I could put my name on something. And one day Cathie said, neckties is like that. So the entrepreneur idea started from this small thought. Cathie came up with this idea that if she can make some neckties, our name could be on the back. So she surprised me, and she was practicing how to make neckties at home. And she told me she bought it, and I wore it to work, and everybody liked it. And I came home, and she told me she made it, and that was it. The light bulb happened, and I was carrying it because we didn't even have a car. So I was walking down the highway with a box of neckties, and I would sell them to the workers for $20. And we had this theory. Out of the $20, if we save $5 of every 20, then we would be able to open a little booth in the mall. And that was kind of like our first kind of start. Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. I'm gonna on one of my questions I'm gonna ask you about the love at first sight and the marriage and all that type of stuff. But right now I want to talk about you said before I ask you my question this is for Jerome. You jumped 7 feet high. Now I'm only 5'7". So my question is, how's it feel to be that high?
Well, now that I'm old, it's a lot lower. I can tell you that. When you're a kid, you don't even know. I mean, honestly, you don't know. And if it wasn't for the great people of Gary, Indiana, you know, I was kind of lost. I didn't know colleges was in different buildings. I thought it was like high school. So I thought it was one building. You know, the truth, without people around you, mentors and those kind of things, you know, honestly, if you take me back today, I'm going to enjoy it a little bit more. Yeah. You know, because I was 15. I was a sophomore in high school. I didn't really know.
Sure. So, yeah. Definitely.
I know now though, because I can't do anything.
So, you know, often we meet people with great ideas and great talents and skills, yet they're reluctant to step out there and start their business. I always say uneducated people give themselves excuses. Educated people are too smart for that, so they give themselves alibis. Yeah. Right? At the end of the day, it means the same thing, but they give themselves an out of why they can't start. Why right now is not a good time to start. So what made you guys say, you know what, we're going and we're going to run and we either going to fail together or we're going to succeed together?
Well, you know, we've always said, you know, if somebody told you there's $1 million behind that tree, and if you really believe there was $1 million behind that tree, you will walk out and go look behind that tree. But you don't believe it. You be like, oh, yeah, it sure is. And you don't go do anything. You know, so it was just, I don't know. We were tired of being broke. We tired of working for other people. And so it was more natural than, you know, and Jerome is fearless too. So, you know, it'd be sometimes I'm like, I don't know about that one. People like, let's do it. We got nothing to lose, you know. Yeah, you're right. We won't have anything to lose.
And it's easier, though. Yeah. I would probably say it's easier when you don't have anything.
Yes.
See, when you have things, it's more of a risk. So, like you mentioned love. Well, it was easy to fall in love at 19 or 20. We had nothing.
That's right.
We didn't know nothing. We didn't have nothing.
That's right.
But if anybody on this panel is single, trying to fall in love now.
That's right. You
You
got your stuff. I got my stuff.
So it's different.
Right. We were poor and broke together.
Right. We had nothing together. So it's easy to like faith. It's easy to have faith when you have nothing, because I can't get it anyway. So it wasn't stopping.
Right.
Me.
You don't need to believe when you got everything.
Right. If I would have had everything, now I would have been maybe risking my 401k, or maybe I would have been risking my life savings, Then it's easier because I didn't have anything. So every ideal was before me. All we needed was endurance and persistence.
And that same thought, we teach that to our kids. Like most of us growing up, like our parents will always tell us, when you fall in love, live your life first. See the world, do this and do that before you get married. We totally teach our kids the total opposite. If you find love right now, take it. Because it's so much easier to grow together than to wait until you're old and trying to pull and push everything together. You're free. You're willing to risk. You're willing to change things. So we always say to our kids, if you find love now, take it.
Yeah, right. Don't wait.
Don't wait.
It's the best thing you're going to get is love at the end of the day. So take it.
Awesome.
That's it. It's time to go.
You're on mute.
I just realized that, but yeah, I was saying that was just really so beautiful, and you guys are so cute together. So Cathie, I knew Jerome in high school because he went to high school with my cousin, and I used to always hang out. So to finally meet you is really an honor and a privilege. So this is just such a great interview, and I'm just so proud to be from Gary, sitting here with you guys. So let me ask this. I know for me, growing up in Gary, I actually didn't have that awareness of entrepreneurship. And I say that though, even now when I reflect, and of course we're the same age, what was clear to me was though that there were entrepreneurs around me. I just didn't recognize it as in, because I knew the shade tree mechanics, right? Like I knew the people were doing the hair in the house. Like back then though, it was more for a lot of people a side hustle, or but they really and some of them really had businesses. And so my question for you guys is twofold. Like in Jerome, you guys mentioned it a little bit, but what has been that impact of mentorship on your journey to entrepreneurship, as well as having other entrepreneurs in your life to lean on?
I don't think we had any, did we?
Right. I was trying. Well, my aunt, I used to go spend the summer every year with my aunt, and she always owned her own daycare, and we had to work there in the summer times. And so to watch her, that was an inspiration to me. And she may have been the only person that I knew. It's like our whole lives, sometimes I think as African Americans, because education was withheld from us, we push so much for it, for us, you need to go to college, get your degree, go work for somebody. And so when you meet other people that come over here from other countries, the first thing they do is open a business immediately. It's an instant thought. But we've been, since education was such a crutch for us, it has almost sometimes to me blinded us into what the real American dream is. The real American dream is owning your own business, working for yourself, getting a piece of this country and being a part of it. So that's probably what I would say.
Yeah, and I probably would say, unfortunately, we didn't have any mentors or too many role models in the business world around us. We always say we would have done a lot better with that, because you can tell us the mistakes not to make, along the way. But those people weren't in our lives. So at the same time, we packed up and came to St. Louis, and everybody we pretty much knew was back in Gary, Indiana too. So we were not around people at the same time that we knew. Everything was new. And it's true. Birds of a feather do flock together. If you got $10, everybody around you got $10. You ain't gonna be with a millionaire and then you gonna be the $10 person. So we all had the same knowledge, the people that I was around, and so it was nobody in our circle that could really tell us anything about being entrepreneurs.
Wow, that is awesome. So this love at first sight. When I read it, when I read it, then I heard Angela say it again. It just resonated with me. And so my wife and I got married. We were 19 and 17 years old.
Oh, everything like that.
But that was only like last week. And you said love at first sight. So I waited at least 6 months to get to kind of know if it was there, right? And you guys jumped and said, "Hey, this is it." My question is, and it kind of ties into your business as well as into your relationship. So, but I want to put it into the relationship context. Longevity, consistency, intentionality, right? You've had a long marriage, been in business for a long time. What do you have to say about those three words as it pertains to marriage and your marriage, as well as in your business?
Well, I would tell everybody this. We say this to everybody. If you could stay married, you could do anything.
That's right.
Because it's the hardest thing you're going to do.
Wait, I call it you getting heaven free card.
Right. So to me, marriage, it's another whole person. When it's just you can do anything you want to do. So to stay married, you have to follow every rule that God wrote down.
That's right. You got to forgive, long suffering.
You got to
you got to do long. And you know what? You got to go raise the dead, heal the sick, go feed the homeless. No, stay married.
Stay married. Stay married. It's the miracle of all miracles.
It's the miracle of all miracles.
So, look at my business to Cathys and I. That was easy compared to trying to adapt to a personality.
Yes.
Because when you've been married, like you were saying, that long, you change along the way.
Yeah.
No different in business. Remember, we started with a necktie business.
That's right.
We made chemicals and owned a restaurant. So
right.
You
we
have
evolve
to,
over time
you
as
adapt,
well. Yeah.
no different as your life. And the truth is, our businesses represents our personalities.
Yeah.
So Cathys, she was a stay-at-home mom the whole marriage. She worked maybe 6 months.
That was it when we first got married, about not even a year.
We made this decision. I had said, I'll work all day if you feed me. This was it. All she had to do was feed me in the beginning.
I couldn't cook.
She couldn't cook. So I worked jobs night and day trying to do the business, and Cathys stayed home and feed me, because my dad would always tell me, if both of y'all work all day and you don't see him, that's a roommate. That ain't a wife. Mm-hmm. And so he said, somebody got to sacrifice. So as a man, I felt it was my responsibility to work and work and work. And so finally, when the children got older, you see, Cathys, and I'll tell you this, she comes into the room, she got tears in her eyes, and she goes, I want something about me. And I go, what do you mean? She's like, you broke these records, you make chemicals, but what is it about me? And I said, well, what do you want to do? And she has said to me, I want a restaurant. And so I told her, I'm going to make you a star. I didn't know we was going to have to burn down Ferguson. And that was initially the goal. And so our goal, like you were asking earlier, it didn't change. So we're in 120 grocery stores now, but we have Cathys is our true product. She's on the hot sauce bottle. She's intentionally in the beginning, that's all it ever was to be about her, because it was about her trying to find a life for herself. And so that's really how the Cathys Kitchen came along.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know, I started Cathys Kitchen right here in my house. And I used to post on Facebook when Facebook was in its infancy. I did it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I post a picture on Facebook, no matter what it was $5. And literally people came to my house to pick it up. And I stopped at 2-3 o'clock because I had to pick the kids up from school. And it got so popular that I didn't even do this for a year, I don't think. But I did a customer appreciation. I had a line of cars up and down the street.
And you could come and eat in our house. It was weird. Listen, because downstairs we have a little movie theater. You could come to our house for $5, watch a movie, eat. We didn't even know you.
Yes, crazy.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. So all the entrepreneurs that we teach out there, I just found another micro stream of income. $5 French fries right in your house.
Let me tell you, those original Cathys Kitchen, they be like, you gonna ever bring those $5? No. Never.
Yeah, we would have people lined up in this house, and one day 92 people came. We'll never forget it, and we knew that's
That
when
was
we were
it.
like, we gotta get. It was like the neighborhood's going to
But
kick us
before
out.
I knew it, I was hiring drivers. You know, I had to hire a couple of chefs to cook at home with me. We were delivering to the schools in the area. It just really it's always say it's wonderful to be forced out of something than to just walk into something, you know?
Yeah. Wow. So Danny, before you go, I want to go back to those 3 words: longevity, consistency, and intentionality. So for entrepreneurs that are out there, you hear the passion in their voice. You hear the words that they're saying. You can understand consistency, longevity, intentionality. This is what you need to do in your business. You can do this in your business. You just have to do like they did. Step out on faith and say, you know what? I have nothing else to lose but our whole world to gain.
Yes, and that's true.
That is very true.
And I like what you were saying about intentions, because the truth, you know, what's interesting in the 29 years of business, we've never made a financial goal, ever.
Yes.
We've never budgeted to say we were going to do this amount of money, because the intention was we were trying to figure out how to live our life. What represented you?
Right. What can we use to pay our bills?
Yes. Who was
you know
us?
what I mean? That we can live like if it was a normal job and we can just pay our bills.
Yes, but through us. And so as the food represented Cathy, the chemicals represented me, and you found joy in it because it was what you want to do. So that gives you longevity for the simple fact your heart was in it. But you know, you had to look at the intention, because so many people have great jobs, they leave because they don't like it. You know, and it just paid them well.
That's right.
But if your intentions after something was through your heart, which is what happened to us,
it is.
We love it.
That's right.
What people don't realize, Cathy go to a restaurant, cook every day. She come home and still cook dinner every day.
I do. Because I enjoy cooking, though. I enjoy it. And you know, you're gonna work 80% of your life. You should do something you really like.
Right. Yeah. If you can.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome. So I really love what I'm hearing from you both, and you all are such a beautiful couple. I just love it, right? So Cathy, I want to change gears a little teeny bit because the story that Jerome just told about how the business was formed because really you wanted something of your own. What we're seeing now, there's a trend where you're seeing a lot more women choosing entrepreneurship versus a corporate job because they have a value for family time, being able to be there for their family, as well as for building and growing a business and leveraging their gifts and their talents. What would you share specifically as it relates to other parents that are seeking to have that harmony, or some might say balance, as it relates to excelling at both entrepreneurship and building a strong family?
I would probably say the first thing is the family has to be first. It has to fit. You have to. It doesn't even have to fit. It'll flow. One of the biggest and greatest gifts I always say God gave me was being an at-home mom, that I was able to be a part of all of my children's life. And I can totally see the difference, me being able to be a parent in the classroom all the time, for me to be on the PTO, I was the block captain, the neighborhood watch, the block captain on my street, so I'm totally involved in the community. I'm totally involved in my children and what they do, their friends, their lives. But at the same time, like I said, hey, what about me? What is it something I can do? And I believe when a woman can find that, because you do want to have a value about yourself too, because you went to school, you spent all this money in college, or if you didn't go to college, I mean, you worked, you did something, and you want to feel like you have some type of value about yourself. So for me to be me, and I always say the gift is really that I did go to a visual and performing arts school. I was like, God, you gave me the perfect thing, the perfect stage. I get to be who I am. I get to enjoy myself, and I like performing. Cooking is an art. It is a performance, And I'll just say to all women out there, the family, line your family up right, because when that's not right, it is heartache, it's sadness, it's regret, it is so many other things. Then after that, you can't forget yourself, So you do something that's going to make you happy. And if you have a spouse, you definitely can't forget them, because you need that harmony. You can't complete anything if you don't have the harmony. Life itself is already stressful with the day-to-day woes that come. So you need to be happy and functioning as a unit, because you're going to need support. You're going to need somebody to tell you when things get rough, you know, you can do it, you can make it. You need to know how your kids are feeling. Matter of fact, they're going to know how you're feeling by the look on your face. And because you taught them all these wonderful things, they're going to know when you need a hug, you know, just because you were there too. So it all goes full circle for women out there. I know it's difficult. I always say it is a man's world, but you know, we got our own nice little part in this pie. And I believe we can really make the best apple pie, because we're great and we're sweet and we're wonderful.
I love it.
Love it.
This is awesome. That is
Oh
awesome.
man, that was an answer for you. Let me tell you.
Absolutely. I love it. And you know, as you guys are talking and I'm hearing your stories, the one word that comes out is relationship. Relationship is just kind of a thread that you guys are talking about within your marriage, within your business, even the story that you told about Ferguson and how the community came together. You know, so as a business owner, a lot of times people start out as a business as that solopreneur. They kind of have that one track mind to do things by themselves. Can you speak to the value of relationships and relationship building to business owners out there?
I think relationship is everything with business owners. You know, wherever you at, you should make a difference, you know, because if you're going to be in this community, you should be a part of it in any kind of way with your business that is possible. So for Cathy and I, we live 1 mile from the restaurant. I've coached 29 years at the high school, which is probably 1.5 miles away. You know, every single thing that we have done from business at home, everything has been in this community, because as much as I like being an entrepreneur, your life is more important, and trying to figure out how to live that life has great value. So me and Cathy, we plan everything. Like before we got to y'all, we went to play basketball. Me and Cathy go play basketball 1-on-1 every Monday. And I won. I'm the champ. Make that clear.
Get the record straight, huh?
Right. So, you know, we have rules to our work. Like every day we stop at 4:00. We never work after 4. Like you can't even talk about it. If it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done.
That's right.
Because after 4:00, we're back married.
That's
you know,
right.
it's
That's
like
right.
now we're going to date.
Right. And if you got to talk about it all day, then it's not a job. You should be able to get up the next day and keep going and do it again.
That's right. It won't end. And so sometimes people put it so important, they forget about they got married, they forget about they have children, they forget about, I guess, relationships. So it only represents a part of who we are. So we make rules. So 4:00, it is over. I mean, it is a wrap for Cathy and I. And then it's about fun and laughter, and whatever we gained that day, we gained. Whatever we lost, we lost. But we will talk about those problems the next day. And we always say that from the time you wake up to 4:00, you can tell me all your problems. After that, let's live, let's enjoy, and let's talk. So relationships with your work is, oh man, that's huge.
That's right.
Because we say you have 3 8-hour days in your life.
Yeah.
You got the 8 hours you're going to sleep. You got those 8 hours you're going to run your business. And those last 8 hours are the most important, because that's what you're going to do with your relationship. So that's how we look at it. You get 3 8 hours.
That's right.
And
you need people to purchase your product or whatever it is you're selling. You're selling something because you need money to make something. So you need to build good relationships.
Yes.
You know?
You do.
Awesome.
That is so impressive. I love it. So let me ask this, you know, as I was reading the bio, and it's just as impressed as I was with the Ferguson, you know, story and the opportunities that followed. Your technology was used in Ocean's 11. I mean, like that, I was like, that was so cool. I was like, you just never know what people are working on and what they're doing. So I that leads me to the point of, like, Jerome, so often people, when they start businesses, that business to business transaction is intimidating. Like, you are doing business with Disney and NASA and these big major entities and corporations. How did that come to be for you? And what advice would you give to someone else looking to look at the business to business platform?
You know, I think a lot of that plays in people's personalities. You know, there's somebody in the business, if you're married, who has the personality that will go first. And that was me. I think I contributed to sports, you know, with sports and trying for Olympics and people always around you, never getting nervous. Those kind of things made it easier for me to speak in front of people. Where Cathie in the beginning, she didn't want to be on TV. They would always put the camera in Cathie's face, and she pushed me in the front. You know, now she'd be like,
I'm good at that.
But at first, she did that. So entrepreneurship has a lot to do with confidence. When you're standing in front of Hewlett Packard or Disney, it's you that's representing your small little business. But we had something they wanted.
Yes, I always say it is so much better to be invited to the party than asking to come.
Right.
That's right. So it's easier in my case because I didn't cold call any of them. They all called me. And the interesting thing was the first person who got us notarized was Dick Clark. So Dick Clark calls us and he wants me to make something. And I didn't believe it was Dick Clark. You know, I don't even know how Dick Clark found me. And so he started a chain from the very beginning. And then from that, once you get somebody connected to you, like once we got Hewlett Packard, then it was easy to say, I work with Hewlett Packard. Now that we got NASA, I mean, I can say that to anybody now, because if NASA believes in me, everybody believes in me. So by the time I got to Disney and those people, it's really simple because now they're calling me. But really, it's because I realized Hewlett Packard had offered us some money for an idea that we told them no. What we wanted was the ability to use his name. And he looked at me and Cathie. We was like, no, we don't want the money at all. We want your name, because I knew if he allowed me to attach Hewlett Packard to my product, and that was it. Once I attached Hewlett Packard to everything, I remember Haynes, Russell, everybody called us. So it was that foresight that they gave us the ability to make it easier to talk to other people. So it became easier down the road. And now Cathie can do everything and I can go to sleep.
That is interesting. And that what you just said about using Hewlett Packard's name is very similar to the way that Frito and Lay's combined many years ago. They realized that together their names could take both of their companies who were individually doing some good things, but together they could do some great things. Yes. And so that's why it's Frito-Lay today. So that's awesome. So as you reflect back over your business legacy, what are one or two things that you focused on for the future?
Well, I would say that one thing I think I really focus on in the future is my children. Absolutely. You know, it is leaving a legacy for them, you know, something that they can pass on to the next generation of the Jenkins that come after them. So longevity, and so many times in this country, us as a race, we don't have a history. We're building a new one now. You know, for the Jenkins, you know, so finally you'll be able to see Jenkins. Oh, that we know the Jenkins, it'll be 30, 40 years from now, you know. So that is our goal, is our children, you know, for them to continue this gift that God has given us.
Yeah, and you have to search through children's interests to see what part they want in it. Because I always told them, you don't have to do what we're doing per se, but remember, it's your name. So you can use that. So in other words, we're building a small factory right now to make products for grocery stores. And we got in the grocery store because when our son was in high school, he did a whole presentation to this grocery store that got like 150 stores. And his whole presentation was he believed that his parents' products should be in the grocery store. And they really loved it so much, they bought it. So he was the first step into us getting in grocery stores. And so, but it was really about trying to figure out who you want to be. Like we know you don't want to cook. I got that, but it's still your name. So me and him looked around to see what we can do. And so we thought about, what if we made products, put those products in grocery stores, and then that way we can build a small factory and we can have that for years. So even though we're around food, we do other things. We know we can make chemical. We know we have a restaurant, but we know we can do other things that fit people's personality. So, and that's really what it was about in looking at the kids, because, you know, we're getting older, you know, I'm halfway home. I'll be 54 this year. So, 60 coming up. So I better have all the fun I can. I can't work all day no more. So, I need him to do it. And I always tell the kids, I want y'all to make all the money in the world so we can come mess up y'all house. I want to come to your house. And I want to tear up your house. So, really the kids is truly the future and the plan.
Yes.
Sure.
Well,
Awesome.
Well, Jerome and Cathie, can I just, again, on behalf of all of us, but especially just as a fellow Gary, born and raised, right? So we got Emerson representing West Side and Word all in one show, right?
Yes.
But thank you guys so much, because I know that, you get to pick and choose where you come and speak and who you share your lives with. And the fact that you were gracious enough to come join us today has truly been an honor and a privilege. And so before I go and we close off today's show, we definitely want to make sure people know how to find you guys. And so the link to your website is showing on the screen, but it'll also be in the comments for the show. So people feel free to support the business. We talked a little bit earlier about how you can ship us some food, but definitely I'm sure there's some things we can order, right?
That's right.
Products and services. And I definitely know the next time I'm in St. Louis, I'm coming to your restaurant. I give you my word.
All right, we'll be looking for you.
Awesome. So give us the name of the restaurant again.
Say it again.
Give us the name of your restaurant again.
It's Cathys Kitchen. Address is 250 South Florissant Road, Ferguson, Missouri, 63135. The phone number is 314-524-9200. We are open Tuesday through Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Don't change it to 8 p.m.
All right.
I love that.
Can't try no more.
No, if you look on the websites, and then we have all the videos, and we kind of been doing a lot of shows and those kind of things. So Cathie is our star. So a lot of people is calling her. I think the Discovery Channel is trying to do a show. She also is a celebrity cook on the Melissa Etheridge cruise. And so we kind of do a lot of things. So I get to eat all day now and piggyback off to Cathie. So that's great.
Well, I've been piggybacking off him a long time.
That's the way it's supposed to be, right? So thank you guys so much. All right. Well, Damien, you want to bring us on home?
Yeah, sure. So Cathie and Jerome, you guys are amazing. Just love your story, love your heart, love your business. And so friends, please support them. Click on the link and go order something right now. And I want to encourage you all to make sure that you are following BEI. Follow us on Facebook and stay up to date with all our programming, our new collaborations, and all of the other great resources that we have developed to help you build your business. And by the way, mark your calendar for the 24th of this month, Saturday, April 24th, because we are hosting the first BEI Connect and Collab networking event. We just want to open up our arms to entrepreneurs and invite you to come into our community, and let's connect and let's see where we have like-mindedness and where we can, trade resources, maybe do some business together. But this networking event you don't want to miss. So friends, thank you for joining us. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube. Just follow us. Stay close to BEI, because we're here to help entrepreneurs elevate their mindset and what? Their money. There you go.
All right, folks. So real quick, the story tonight reminds me of this little girl that was giving her father a gift, and he got upset because she was using this expensive wrapping paper. The next day, she wasn't deterred. She still wrapped the gift and gave it to her father. And he opened it up. And when he realized it was his gift, he felt ashamed about his anger. Well, then when he opened the box, he saw there was nothing in it. And he started yelling at the little girl, "Don't you know when you give somebody a gift, there should be something in it?" Well, the little girl said, "Oh, Daddy, it's not empty. I blew kisses in it, and they're all for you." Now, the father was crushed, and he wrapped his arms around his daughter to ask for forgiveness. Just a few weeks later, she was killed in an accident. Now, the father held on to that box forever. The moral of the story is this. Just as our guest story about meeting and love at first sight, I want you to know that love is the most precious gift in the world. So protect it with all your might and in all you can. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight to BEI Live. We look forward to seeing you next Tuesday as well. Thank you guys and good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Nice meeting everyone.